Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Vlogmas Day 8. Don't mind Mona being super loud over there. She just finished eating, so don't mind her. Today's video is a little bit different. I wanted to talk about my small business. If you guys don't know, I do have a small business. I do have my own website. I built it a couple months back. I was selling originally on Etsy, and Etsy is just so difficult to sell on. I was investing money on ads, so every time I would make a sale I would be really happy, but then when I would get the return, they take a lot of money out from fees, and also I was paying for shipping, so a lot of my money was just going into the business and I wasn't really getting any return. When I would pay for ads, if I made a couple sales, I was not getting any money back, essentially, like nothing. I remember one time I had made like $150 worth of sales and I only got $40 deposited into my account, and I was so upset because I was like, I put in so much work, I paid for shipping. That was like just basically shipping money in those $40. So I made nothing. So I decided to invest in getting my own website. I did create my own domain, and then I created my own website using Equid. I did everything that I could to try to have my small business grow. I never had TikTok before that, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna download TikTok. I'm gonna create more content for my TikTok. I created an Instagram solely for my small business, and I even created a Facebook page for my business. Now I have YouTube, which I bring up my business a lot. I have a Instagram dedicated for my business. I have TikTok just for my business, and then I have Facebook also for my business. So I have 4 different ways to promote my business. And then on my actual personal Instagram account, I promote it all the time. I talk about it to my coworkers, I talk about it to my family, I talk about it to my family's friends, I talk to my friends. I talk about it a lot. And I have failed. And it hurts. It hurts to say that I have failed. I have invested so much money, time, and effort into my small business. This is not a video to be like, go buy from my business right now. If you ran across this video and you want to start a small business, go for it. There's a lot of success stories, but I unfortunately am not. And I have been doing this for over a year now. I started selling on Etsy over a year ago. Like, I posted my first thing on Etsy over a year ago. I have invested so much money, and I started all of this over a year ago. So this is not a video for you to feel bad for me. This is just a video kind of like informing you of my small business journey. I have made, I think, like 5, maybe like 7 sales on my actual website. And then a lot of the other sales have been through my DMs on Instagram, which is really tricky. I do run my small business from my house all by myself, and when I rely on Instagram orders, it's really difficult, just because sometimes like people don't want to pay me through Apple Pay or Venmo or Cash App or Zelle. Like, they are like, I'll just give you cash in hand in person, and I'm like, okay. There's this girl that I met where I currently live, and she has a bunch of followers, and she promoted my business. So a lot of the followers that she has started following me, which I loved. Like, I was super grateful for her, or the people that were interested in following me started following me. So I knew that those people that were DMing me that wanted items lived locally, so I was like, yeah, I'll accept cash. But a lot of them have lacked. A lot of them, and it makes me so sad. Sometimes they ask for really complicated designs, and I go out of my way to design this item, and then they don't show up, they don't make the payments, they stop replying. So now have I not only wasted my time in making the design, sometimes I try to create the item before I make the final product. So now I've wasted blanks. And it's just really difficult when it comes to relying on DM orders like that. And creating content for my TikTok and Instagram is also very difficult. Sometimes I do feel discouraged, sometimes I want to give up, sometimes I just want to sell everything that I own for my small business and just make it go away. I think that my small business has failed because I feel like I'm not focused solely on one thing. I went all or nothing, and it's just hard because it was just my money flying, trickling away. So let me tell you how much money I have invested. This is kind of an approximation because I don't really remember the prices off of the top of my head. For the most part, they're somewhat accurate because all my money has gone into my business. So starting off with my embroidery machine, I have the Ricoma MT1501. Beautiful machine. I love it. It's great. It took me months to figure out. It took me months to unbox it actually because it comes in this huge crate. It weighs a lot. That machine was, I think, over $15,000 after taxes. Then let's move on to blanks. Just in blanks, I have spent over $1,000 on because I've made multiple orders. Then on thread alone, just on thread alone, I spent $1,000. It hurts to say that I had spent $1,000 just on thread. Thread is really expensive, and I never realized that until I went to go buy thread. Then I've spent around $400, probably like anywhere from $300 to $400 on my embroidery designs, just because I did learn how to digitize a little bit too. So I have also invested my time in digitizing. I learned how to digitize, but sometimes a lot of the items that I digitize myself don't come out as great. I take too much time on just one design. So I did purchase some designs from other individuals. Then I have invested money on stabilizer, on bobbin. I have invested money on new needles. Then hoops for my machine. I only have a few hoops that did not come with the actual machine. So I did invest on Mighty Hoops. And Mighty Hoops, some of the hoops alone are $100 for just one. And I think I have 5, and then I have the starter kit for like pocket designs. And on Mighty Hoops, I have invested, I think that it was $1,500 for all the hoops that I have, which, like I said, I only have 5 or 6, but I have this one package that has like this one bundle that comes with a lot of little items. So just in embroidery, that's kind of like there's obviously a lot more little things that I probably have missed. Embroidery is what I am like the most passionate about, and that's what I care about the most. So that has just been a whole investment in itself. I don't even know how much in total that was. So now let's move to engraving. So I do have the X-Tool M1 machine that I bought a year ago, a little bit over a year ago now. I've had it. That machine, I bought it for, I think it was $1,800, because I did buy the machine and then I bought the air purifier, and then I invested in the little stand. So I invested on that. Then I invested on blanks. So I invested on a little bit of wood. I invested in a little bit of coasters. I spent a lot of money on engraving, and for some reason I just don't focus on that as much. I did purchase a second Cricut for my party supplies. So if you go onto my website, so I offer embroidery, cups, party supplies, sublimation, and then that custom items tab is just for individuals that want to place a custom order, but they want to buy it through my website. So I have 2 Cricuts that run that party supplies item, and I will place some pictures on the screen of what that entails. On that, I have invested on cardstock. I have invested on my second Cricut. My first Cricut I wouldn't count as an investment towards my business, just because I had it before I started my business. So I have invested so much money on actual cardstock paper. With party supplies, it takes me a little bit of time to actually create a design. Also, I have invested on a couple printers for like party decor and stuff like that. I invested on an Epson printer, like a EcoTank printer, and then I invested on a Brother laser printer. So what the laser printer does, it just prints toner, so it is just a black and white printer. So now moving on to sublimation. For sublimation, I have invested $500 on my Heat Nation heat press. Then the actual printer was also $300 because it's another Epson EcoTank. And then the sublimation ink was like $30. And then I also invested in a mug press, which the mug press was $160. Then I invested in actual Libby cups, like actual tumblers to sublimate on. And that per case it was around $100, and I bought 5 cases of them. Then I invested in sublimation t-shirt blanks, and that was anywhere from, that was a lot of money. That was when I first started my business, so I actually couldn't even give you a rough estimate for that one because that was over a year ago. Then I invested in UVDTF wraps, and I did buy those from other small businesses, and they're anywhere from $3 to $5 each, so they're not like terribly expensive, but they are still kind of pricey, especially if you're a small business trying to sell your item. It's just really, really difficult. So I invested in UVDTF wraps, and then I also ruined a bunch of them when I first started with UVDTF wrapping. So then I also invested in some t-shirt. I'll place the title of what they're called somewhere here, but they're basically like screen prints for t-shirts. I have invested a lot of money, and I thought that I wanted to focus more on like kids apparel, but then I ended up focusing on adult apparel, which sometimes kids apparel is more expensive. I have probably invested over $25,000 on my business, and I have made 7 sales on Equid, on my website through Equid. And I have tried everything, guys. I have made video after video for my business. That's not counting shipping, that's not counting custom stickers I have made, custom thank you cards that I have made, just so much little things that I have invested on. But the point of this video is that it's okay if you started a small business and you don't see a lot of return. And it is also okay that you do not have a lot of money to invest in a small business. You should not invest. You should not be me because I'm broke. Don't do that, because then you're gonna be broke. I hope that my small business eventually takes off. I really hope that it does take off. I hope that everything works out. I hope that I don't stay in this point of my life the rest of my life, because it's really, really hard to just see that you have invested all of this money. Sometimes I just want to sell it all. Sometimes I'm just like, well, let me just sell everything. It doesn't matter. But then at the end of the day, I know that this is kind of what I want to do, and I know that this is what I love. Like, I love when I get a small order, even from my coworkers, and they're just like, oh, my daughter wants this. I get so happy to actually be able to create it. But that's basically how my small business has failed. I focused on too many things at once. I invested too much money in it too quickly. Even for like Halloween, I invested on certain Halloween designs. For Christmas, I have invested on certain Christmas designs. For Valentine's, I already have a few Valentine's designs in mind. Sitting here kind of makes me like, I kind of don't want to post this video because I feel like it has a lot of negativity towards my small business, and I'm trying to bring positivity towards it. If you're a small business owner and you're successful, please help a girl out, because I have tried everything. So if you guys have any advice, please help me. I will appreciate the help. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Please come back for Vlogmas Day 9, and I will see you tomorrow.